Hey folks, how is it going? I am back with another quarterly recap video. So here we are. As I'm filming this, it's actually nearing the end of October, so I'm a little bit late getting this out. But in any case, these are the numbers, the sales, the averages, all the good stuff, all the data from July 1st to September 30th. So Q3. And overall, I just want to say Q3 has been very good, especially in comparison to Q2, which took a little bit of a dip, which I talked about in that last video, the last one I did of these, where I talked about how I'd been doing a lot of dog sitting, was away for like 8 weeks straight, had put things on, vacation mode and stuff, and really it took some time to recover from that. So when I released my Q2 video, it was on July 7th, I believe, and I talked about how it had been a couple of weeks of listing every day. Here we are, October 23rd, and I have still been listing every single day. Now, some days it might just be a couple of items, but I've been listing to eBay and Poshmark, although I think there might have been one day, maybe one or two, that I didn't list to Poshmark because everything I was listing on eBay was like video game related or hard goods or things, and I hadn't been moving stuff over to Poshmark yet with that kind of stuff, just clothing. But yeah, listing to eBay every single day now for probably 4 months. So yeah, probably 4 months. And yeah, it might just be 2 items. Sometimes it's up to like 6, 7. If I've got extra stuff, some extra like hard goods and stuff, it could even be like 10 or 12 items, but that's not common. It's usually like 5-ish, probably. But in any case, let's get into some of these numbers. Just to recap Q2, total sales from March to June was April to June was $7,127. And in this quarter, we are up to $10,640. So pretty much a 1.5 times the, what is that? I'll just do the math here right now. That, I believe, is exactly 1.5 times. Yeah, like 1.492. So that's really cool. So yeah, sales are definitely up, and obviously I think that listing every day, not going on vacation mode, not like doing things to, not intentionally, but that are obviously going to maybe hurt the algorithm. So that's a good one. Another thing is that margin is up as well. And margin is up to 56.5% net profit margin. And when I say net profit margin, I am talking about the profit after I buy an item and then sell it and deduct the fees and any shipping cost incurred. So, yeah, I know some people are going to say like, hey, you sell something for $10 plus $30 shipping. If you've made, $3, they say you've made $3 on that entire 40 some, and that's your net profit margin. I don't operate that way because I'm using calculated shipping. So people are paying the shipping very close to what the actual cost is, and then that shipping is being paid out. So it's kind of like on Poshmark, where you're just getting sent a prepaid label. You don't even think about the shipping. It doesn't factor into the calculation. I take the same approach with eBay, although sometimes there's a slight variation, or I cover an extra $1 or $2, or I earn an extra $1 or $2, but it's close enough that I don't count that. So yeah, 56.5% margin. That is great, up from 51.9 in Q2. And that means that my total net profit for the last 3 months was $6,013.17. So keeping in mind, I'm only doing this part-time. Like, I'm assuming that I'm working at this maybe 16 hours a week. So to get an extra $2,000 a month of net profit, just money that I did not have, $2,000 a month goes a long way for having a, very part-time extra job here. So that's pretty cool. So that means that out of that $10,640, when I deduct off the fees and any extra shipping costs or whatever that I am actually taking on myself, my total income, my total actual cash flow was over $8,300. It was $8,306. So that's just some really good cash flow to be having. That's like what? $2,800 a month of just extra cash just flowing in and out. You know, that's buying power. That's when you have cash flow like that, even if your profit margins aren't as high, you have buying power, you have the ability to make good decisions or better decisions. You just have a lot of freedom. You have the ability to do things because you have cash flow coming in, so that even if you don't reinvest it all in inventory or something, you know, you've got that money that you can do something with if, you know, something comes up. So I've talked about this in my what sold videos and some other stuff, but this is just very part-time for me. Like I said, 16 hours a week approximately. I don't track it, but that's my guess. So it's all extra income. My regular job, which is a Monday to Friday day job, it pays the bills. So this is extra. So I take half of my income, not profits, but half of the actual cash flow income that I'm getting paid from eBay and Poshmark after fees and shipping costs. And I'm taking half of it and applying it right to debt, credit card debt, stuff like that. And then the other half is what we're using. It goes in a separate bank account, just transfer it over, and that goes back into the reselling account to go out and buy more inventory. So far, that 50-50 split has worked wonders. We've knocked a lot of debt down in the last 3 months. Obviously, we're keeping up with listings and able to go out and source lots of new inventory. So I was looking back at the video from Q2, and it had mentioned that at the end of Q1, I had 800 active listings on eBay. At the end of Q2, I had 845 active listings. And right now, as of today, which is, you know, almost a month into Q4, I have active 923. So it has grown by, what's that, 80, 78, 80 listings. You know, the thing is, even though I'm listing every day and I'm listing 5 items maybe on average, I'm having some good sales. So as you can see, so I'm not really getting ahead all that much. Over that 90 days or whatever it is in 3 months, I've really only been able to earn not even a listing a day as towards my active listings. But that's good. I'm okay with that because I'm still growing, but it's not growing so quickly that it's growing at a pace where I can see what's working and what isn't working. I'm not spending too much time or money on inventory that doesn't work. I'm actually being able to see a proper, I'm selling, I'm listing new stuff, I'm selling almost as much as I'm listing. Like, it's a really good steady growth curve. So I like that. And yeah, all right. Well, a couple of other numbers here I thought was kind of interesting. So I went back and looked at, because I log all of my sales in a spreadsheet. And I looked back, my average cost of goods. I decided to calculate everything this time. The last couple of videos I would have done about this, because I sell mostly clothing, I took the average cost of goods on only the clothing items, which worked out to $6.42 Canadian. And this time I'm just saying all of my cost of goods, because I have started selling some other stuff, or I've had, you know, some reasonably good other types of sales. So my average cost of goods overall in everything that has sold in the last quarter was $6.03. My average sale price on eBay is actually down from Q2 to $27.81. And that's actually pretty consistent with Q1. I'm adding a category here. I'm going to say that average sale price of local or Facebook marketplace deals. So everything where it's just a local thing, someone's either picking it up at my house or I'm delivering it to them. You know, there's no fees. It's not on a platform. This would include actually some games maybe that I'm selling to a buddy of mine, or, you know, anything really that isn't sold on eBay or Poshmark. My average sale price for those is $53.06. So selling some good video game consoles, some higher end video games, things like that. And I've done really well on that. Now, that does make up a small percentage of my overall sales, but when it happens well. And sometimes those are bigger items that I just don't want to list and have to worry about shipping. So yeah, there's that. And then average sale price on Poshmark is $25.87. So really, you know, you can say that eBay and Poshmark are a lot of clothing items. That's, 90% of my listings probably. And there's a 26.75, 26.90, somewhere in that kind of range average sale price. And if my average cost of goods is only $6, yeah, that's where you get those decent margins. So I worked out the average net profit per hour worked, assuming that I'm working 16 hours a week. So just to recap, Q1, like that same amount calculated to $22.95 per hour. So that's, net profit per hour worked. So, if you're thinking about a regular day job, I know here in Canada, at least in Nova Scotia, like I get taxed pretty high. I lose about a third of my income to deductions. Not all that is taxes. Some of that's going into medical. Some of it's going into an RSP. There's various different deductions, but I'm only clearing maybe 2/3 of my gross income. So to think about that, that means that, if the same average applies here, to be earning $22.95 per hour net profit, it's like having a job of $33 an hour or somewhere around there. So, that's pretty good, especially for rural Nova Scotia. In Q2, that number was $21.01 per hour. And in Q3, definitely seeing some better sales, better net profit margin, like I said. So it's like $28.60 per hour in net profit. Again, assuming 16 hours a week worked. And I don't think it's quite even that. So maybe that per hour number is technically higher. I'm not going to bother logging, or maybe I will. I don't know. Well, it's too late now because I'm already 23 days into Q4 and I haven't started to do it. But maybe in the new year I'll start logging how many hours I actually put towards this and really get a solid number on that. But I just thought it was interesting anyway. So there's some milestones here. There's some milestones in this last year that happened, or actually no, technically I guess it was in Q4. So I can't really make this part of the Q3 recap video because it wasn't really Q3 specific. But you know what? I'm going to throw it in anyway. Early October, which is just at the beginning of Q4, was 1 year on Poshmark, and I had earned over $11,000 in my first year on Poshmark. I made a video about that. So Q3 has been huge on Poshmark, that is for sure. Some really good sales and bundles going out there. I would say that the biggest thing for me to help generate sales is to accept offers or make really good aggressive offers on bundles. If I think about it, let's say I sell a bundle of 4 or 5 items. Even if one of those items I completely just break even on and I don't make any profit whatsoever, I've still gotten a good margin on the other 3 or 4 items. So I never get hung up on that. Like, I never think about, oh, these are all individually listed at this amount, so I really want to get this. I'm looking at it like, hey, okay, these 4 things cost me $25. I can make $60 of net profit? Hell yeah. Obviously there's going to be some limitations to that and some exclusions, but yeah, I'm really willing to let a low or even middle tier item go for essentially no profit whatsoever if it means selling another 2 or 3 items and making money off of those. So that's been the biggest thing for me in Q3 for Poshmark. It's kind of a different approach I've taken, and I think that's why those numbers are up specifically on that platform. On eBay, I've definitely noticed that most sales are going to the US. I think that in Canada, shipping is still just such an obstacle that a lot of people are looking at Poshmark due to that $13.49 flat rate shipping. And so that, that's kind of where that is. But overall, again, I'm really happy. $10,640 in sales and over $6,000 in total net profit in 3 months as just a little side hustle, a little part-time gig. Yeah, that's great. So I'm just going to do some quick addition here and see what we're at so far for the year. So from year to date, from January 1st to September 30th, we are at a total of $26,730 in sales. So that's a good part-time job, man. I like that. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with that for sure. So let's see here. Do I have anything else that I'm forgetting to add in this video? Is there anything else I should be talking about? I know in the last one I talked about, some of my favorite sales and whatnot. I've had some really big, high, good sales in this quarter, but I'm not going to bother extending the video for that. I do weekly sales videos, weekly what sold, so go ahead and check those out. And here's hoping Q4 continues to go well. We had one rough week, the second week of Q4, but otherwise it's been very good. I'm filming this on a Monday, and my weekly sales, I go from Sunday to Saturday, and here we are on Monday afternoon, and we are already at $537 in sales. So well on pace to be a record-shattering week, and very exciting stuff. So anyway, yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. I really appreciate all the support on this channel. I know I say that a lot, but here we are, less than a year on YouTube, and basically 10 months on YouTube now, putting out about 100 videos at this point. So having some fun with it, really pushing out the content, and it's showing. It's showing that people appreciate it. People are following along, subscribing, and I've had some good shares as well. So to anybody who has been part of this, I really appreciate it. I know I'm a small YouTuber, but I'm enjoying it. So that's, it's fun for me. So, all right, that's it. I'll wrap it up there instead of rambling on any further. Thanks very much once again, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.